me explain to you very quickly what an ad hominem argument is, because you keep saying you don't do it, and then you just literally did it. An ad hominem argument is not an ad hominem argument is not when you insult someone. An ad hominem argument is when you make an argument that is irrelevant because you are attacking a characteristic.
It's not irrelevant. When you go from the 500th ranked male to the #1 ranked woman, that's not irrelevant, bud. I don't know. I don't know why you can't get that. Like, we're just doing.
Let's imagine that I am.
But you can't even understand this.
Let's imagine that I am completely insane. Okay, really quickly. You probably won't have a hard time thinking about that from your perspective. Let's imagine that I think that the sky is made of lemonade. But I come here and I cite the fact, for instance, that all life begins as female, and that, am I wrong when I cite the fact that all life begins as female because I think the sky is made of lemonade? No, I'm not. That would be an ad hominem argument.
You're comparing lemonade. I'm comparing stats of male ranked versus female ranked, and you're comparing lemonade and biology. We are not the same, Brendan. I'm winning this argument very easily. No, I understand what ad hominem is, but I'm talking about stuff that's pertinent to this. You don't understand. You're talking about lemonade, and I'm talking about things that are germane to this debate. You and I are not the same, bud.
Oh, see, that's an ad hominem argument right there. Jesus Christ, dude. Like, read a book.
I've never read a book. You're right. I don't know how to read. I've never read a book. That's not an ad hominem attack.
You are generally an incurious person. However, that right there is not an ad hominem argument. That is an insult.
You think I'm incurious? You think I'm incurious? Well, that's fine. You can think that. I think you're an idiot.
It seems to you, you don't think about it very closely.
That's not true. That's not true. I know there's intersex people. I know that there's an application where there might be people that have to have puberty blockers or gender reassignment surgery at a very young age. And for me, I think that is unfortunate that they would not be able to compete against people in sport. But at the same time, I think the sports are bigger than people. You don't think the same. Sports are huge to our culture. So for me to have women that competed their whole lives and listen, you keep on yelling ad hominem. These women spent their whole lives in the NCAA championship. You look at the female swimmer that spoke out against it, who was 17th, who didn't get to swim in the top 16 in the final place of the NCAA championship.
You will notice something. She's 17. 17. Is she going to get a chance to compete next year and the year after? And
she might not. What if she gets in a car accident and dies? What happens? What if she failed out of school?
You can't use that as a reason.
What do you mean? Who gives a crap? You only have one life.
You have no idea because she hasn't worked so long.
Brent, you can't tell the future. Anything could happen. She could get in a car accident and lose the ability to swim, and she never got to compete because Leah Thomas
about sports rankings and sports leagues based upon whether or not someone might get in a car accident.
What I'm saying is you're trying to say next year she's just going to be right in the competition. Next year is not guaranteed. Anything can happen. That's how life works.
No,
so your argument is not smart.
I am saying that she is 17. She will have other opportunities, and also
she might not have other opportunities. Anything could happen. There is no guarantee in life.
That doesn't matter. Anything. For the league. So if she walks outside and gets hit by a meteorite, that doesn't matter because we're talking about rules.
It would matter. It would matter because her one chance to compete in that competition, the one time, not the future time, the one time that was right in front of her face, got taken away from her by somebody that swam on the boys' team for 3 years. That's why it does matter.
Okay, this is a fallacious appeal to sympathy. I don't give a fuck. I do not give a fuck at all what you think or how sympathetic you are to one random person. That does not change the rules. It does not change biological facts. That does not change.
You don't understand biological facts. You think a man with a penis can have a baby.
Argument.
But you just said the same thing. You think a man with a penis can have a baby, Brendan. So listen where you're coming from.
You guys look this up. Seriously, just put it into Google. There was a 45-year-old man
didn't have a baby, Brendan. He did not have a baby.
He went into freaking menopause. That's
not the same as having a baby, bud.
Okay, one of those things have anything to do with being a woman.
Oh my gosh. The fact that you can't admit that a woman has a vagina and has ovaries and can have a baby and that a man has a penis and
a vagina. I admit that. A woman has ovaries. I admit that.
Okay, does Leah Thomas have a vagina? Does Leah Thomas have a vagina?
Not what womanhood is.
Does Leah Thomas have a vagina?
I don't fucking know.
The answer is no. The answer is no. So he's not a woman, according to you, Britton.
That means you care about that.
No,
Like,
I'm using it
you're
because
like
you don't
being
understand
obsessed
argument.
with
I don't care
sexual.
about their genitals, but you can't even admit
Then
that.
why do you
So
keep
you're not
bringing
basing
it up if you
reality.
don't care?
Because it shows they have a physical advantage because they don't have the same body or tools as a woman. We are different.
Okay,
You don't
so
understand
wait,
that a man and a woman are not the
A
same
dick
thing,
is a
Britton.
physical advantage in a swimming competition.
No, but it's different because a man is bigger. A man has longer limbs. A man has a more
Okay,
a
so
muscle
is it
mass than a
unfair
woman.
when a
So if a
larger
person born
cis
with a
woman with
penis,
longer limbs and better musculature competes against a woman who's smaller with worse musculature?
overwhelmingly, men have a advantage over women. That's a simple thing. You want to.
In general, yes, but when we're dealing with elite athletes, it gets a lot smaller. Now, again,
Well, not
then
every
you
sport
have-
is versus elite athletes. That's the problem. Is this is going to go down to the high school level, then it's going to go down to the middle school level, then it's going to go down to the elementary level. So
first
you're not
off-
even based in reality, bud.
Okay, so that is a slippery slope logical fallacy. And second of all, it wouldn't even matter because that is also a fallacious appeal to consequence.
Okay.
The issue here is not what will happen as a result of this with regard to our leagues. The issue is she owed an equal chance to compete? And yes, she is. By the rules, she's owed an equal chance to compete. By the science, she's owed an equal chance to compete. This is happening, and there's absolutely nothing you or anyone else who's salty about it can do to stop it.
I'm not salty about it. I just think it's unfair. That's why I'm talking about it. I'm not salty about it.
Okay.
I think Leah Thomas is good for swimming because now more people are talking about college swimming. So Leah Thomas for the sport overall is good because less people were even talking about college swimming. So for those other swimmers, they got a little bit of shine because of Leah Thomas. So for the sport attention, I think it's good. For the fairness of the competition, it's terrible. So for me, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's unfair.
Okay, so if you think it's unfair, and you may think it's unfair, that's fine. You're not the one making that decision. The people making that decision are the NCAA and the Olympics. So are you telling me that right now that you, who don't know anything about swimming, has never swam in his life, can come in here and say that you think it's unfair and everything should change?
Yes, I think everything should not. I think biological boys should get to compete against biological women. Yes.
All right.
Call me crazy.
You are smarter and better read and better able to understand this than the entire International Olympic Committee.
The International Olympic Committee you're talking about the Federation of the IOC.
Answer the question.
You're talking
Do you think you're better than the IOC?
Of course, I think I'm more based in reality than them by them allowing these women to lose. Yeah, I do think I'm smarter than them.
And you think you're better than the NCAA?
I don't think I'm better than that. I think I'm more based in reality than they are because they don't care about it. What they're trying to do is they're trying to virtue signal. I think I'm not the only one that thinks this. What the thing is, these colleges, these colleges are trying to virtue signal. No.
Guys, nobody can understand you.
Let me just say something. They're trying to capitulate and change the entire sports, the entire fairness of the sports, to capitulate to less than 0.008%. That's what I'm saying. So that's why I think it's unfair.
0.08%. Again, 1%. It's
less than 1%. It's less than 1%. Not one out of every 100 people is transgender, dude.
Hermaphrodites, but 1% of all humans in the world, that is 1% of 7 billion, have one disorder or another of sexual biology. That is a fact. That is a group that is larger than the entire U.S. military. It is larger than the entire Chinese military. And you want to say that this is some sort of fringe case? No, it's not. By the numbers, this is a very, very significant group. 1 in 100.
That's not the number, dude.
Yes, it is, dude.
That's not the number. That's not how many people are transgender. It's not.
Yeah. Again, I don't know. It's not how many people are transgendered, but it's how many people are born in some form of intersex condition. And a large number of those cannot be classified as male or female based upon physical description alone, nor can they be classified based upon their chromosomes, because again, there are XX men and there are XX women. Now, there was one other thing that I did want to ask you about here, because this is an important situation. So Caster Semenya is a runner. She is, as you would put it, a biological woman. She was assigned woman at birth, but she has a disorder that causes more testosterone to course through her veins. And as a result, she goes in and she beats all the other women. Now, Are you going to tell me because she was born and assigned as a woman and presumably can have a baby that the International Olympic Committee was, for instance,
Castor can't have a baby. She can't have a baby. Castor can't have a baby. So why would you?
How do you know?
Because we know. Because they've checked her testosterone level. She's not able to produce a baby. Okay.
Okay.
Come
on.
So I don't even care about the rest of your argument.
A testosterone level doesn't have anything whatsoever to do with producing a baby.
I'm just saying, Castor Semenya, who's born intersex, does not have the ability to have a baby.
Semenya.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So again. 1% of the population are born intersex, but you just said that not.
Well, that's a perfect example. Okay, let's even say it's 1%. I don't think we should change the rules.
Yeah.
No, this is the question. I don't think we should change the rules for the other 99% shouldn't have to suffer for the 1%. That's what I think, Brendan.
Ironic, but I don't believe you actually mean that.
I mean that 100%. Yeah. I don't think the 99% of athletes
where were you during
should have
Occupy
to
Wall
capitulate.
Street?
I was a young kid during Occupy Wall Street. I wasn't worried about Occupy Wall Street. I was like a little kid, basically.
You just accidentally quoted an Occupy slogan. And I have a feeling that probably if you were this age during Occupy Wall Street, you would be taking the side of the police. You would be taking the side of the people on Wall Street.
You think I like big business? I hate multinational corporations. I hate that we bailed out the banks. See, that's some sort of ad hominem
we can agree
attack.
On that.
I'm just telling you, dude, we shouldn't have to change the rules for the 99%, shouldn't have to suffer for the 1%. Call me crazy, but that's what I believe.
So should is a very dangerous word. There are lots of things that should happen in many people's estimation, but that's not how reality works. Now, if we're going to talk about like the decision made by the IOC and the decision made by the NCAA and the decision made by all of these leagues, by people who have spent their careers interested in sports, who have spent their careers making sure that they have the best competition possible and have come to the conclusion, they have all come to the conclusion that this is fair enough and it is within the bounds of regular activity. If you want to overturn that based upon your personal opinion, your uneducated opinion, you are free to say that.
Where do you have a college degree from, Brenton, real quick? Where did you graduate from college?
University of Kentucky.
Well, I graduated from LSU, so I have a degree, so don't call me uneducated. And
I didn't say you were uneducated.
You just said uneducated.
You just said I was uneducated opinion on this topic. Because
first of all, I'm very familiar with this topic, and see, I'm based in reality, and you're based in Looney Tune land. So that's the difference.
And I could be completely.
Why don't we? Okay, listen. You don't even admit that a guy. You don't even admit that there's a difference between a man and a woman. So you're not based
between a man and a woman.
Well, then, does a man have a competitive advantage against a woman physically in sports?
Oftentimes, but not always.
Okay, so most of the time. So do you think it's fair for somebody to get to just reassign their sex, but still have all the male genitalia and accoutrement of being a male?
Yes, absolutely. Because if they go, they're not just saying like, I'm a woman, I'm going to go compete with the other women. They're going through like hormonal therapy that will change their body for the rest of their lives.
Does it make you smaller? Does it make you shorter?
Yes.
No, you're still. Oh, you're telling me it'll make you shorter.
Smaller. It doesn't.
Yeah, but it doesn't make you shorter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't change you. So you still have the advantage. So
no.
Okay.
Again, certain sports have advantages based on height or weight or whatever. A good example might be volleyball.
And Brenton, I want to say this. I hope you're right, because I hope there's a bunch of transgendered women that join the WNBA. I can't wait for that day, because then maybe I'll start watching it. That's what I hope. I hope you're 100% right. I don't think
you have ever paid any attention to the WNBA, and you're just saying.
Are you kidding? I love the LA Sparks. I love I'm not even conservative. I love the LA Sparks. I watch a lot of LA Sparks games. Lisa Leslie is my favorite female basketball player. I'd like to see you name one female basketball player.
I mean, I'm not into basketball, and I
name one female basketball player. Name one female WNBA. Diana Taurasi. You don't even know any. So you're telling me I don't know. You don't even know any female athletes. Yeah. No, what I'm saying. Yeah, it is, because we're talking about trans athletes in sports. Yeah, it's sports. Yeah, it is. It's about
right, let's not talk over each other.
It is about basketball. It's germane to it.
What is wrong with your face?
All right, let's not talk over each other, guys.
Germane to it. You don't even know what sports is. Do you know that basketball is a sport, bud? Did you know that? Did you know that athletes play basketball?
I know that basketball is a sport. Gee, I don't know. I just am not.
See, that shows you how smart you are. You're so smart. You don't even know basketball is a sport.
Okay.
I gotta use the restroom. Let's just go to the super chats, because this guy he doesn't even know basketball is a sport.
Dude, you are so butthurt. There you go. Triggered. Triggered snowflake. All right, we need to go to the thing, because he's having a little hissy fit over there.
Are you ready to go super chats, Brenton?
Yeah. His face turned red and like kind of twisted into an evil mask. So I think I've very well won this debate. Let's go to the super chats.